Here's a little something something to work on strengthening the psoas, per my recent podcast episode with Jill Nye the Science Guy. So you want to feel for the little dips that are just to the sides of your pubic bone, where your legs meet your pelvis. You're going to put your thumbs against those little soft spots. Lock out your knees, which is a cue you'll never hear me say otherwise. And then let your hips press forward. So you'll shift your hips forward and back like I'm doing. And with your thumbs in those soft spots, you can probably feel the tops of your femurs, your thigh bones, moving forward. Not really great. So, that's what we were talking about in the podcast. And now we'll work on some of those strength pieces. So you'll come to lie on your back. Have your feet off the mat. If you have a hardwood floor, you might want socks on so your feet can slide. If you don't have a hardwood floor, paper plates can usually help on carpet. Hug your right knee in. Slide your left heel. Go only as far as you can go without the position of your low back changing against the floor. And then slide your heel back. Good. Slide that left foot forward. Again, you're not letting your back change position. Your right shin is resting into your hands, so your arms are extended. You're not trying to pull that knee in real tight. You're sliding forward and back, again, only moving as far forward as you can go without changing the position of your back. That might mean your leg comes nowhere near the floor, and that's fine. Release your right foot to the floor, and you'll swap sides. Hug that left knee in. And again, let your shin rest against your hands so your arms straighten, and you'll begin to slide your right heel forward and back, going only as far as you can go without changing the position of your back. And this is just kind of awareness stuff. You're exploring, hey, what's going on? What's happening at my hips? How much am I able to move this leg or each leg without moving my back? It's an important thing to be able to differentiate. They all work together, but you want to be able to feel the difference. And take another movement or so of your right foot forward and back. And then release both feet down to the floor. Once you've got both feet down on the floor, you'll shift yourself onto your mat fully because you don't need your feet off the mat now. And again, set up back of your pelvis on the floor. Rest your low back against the floor. Press right foot down, stretch a left leg forward, and hover your left foot, your left leg, maybe an inch or two off the floor. You'll begin to lift it a little bit higher, and you're trying not to change the position of your back. And then lower it down to hover. So it's moving up and down, a lift and hover, a lower and hover lower. Up and down with that leg, try to move with your breath. Probably inhale to lift, exhale to lower and hover. Then you'll step your left foot back, right foot forward, and you'll start with that same movement. Hover your right foot just a little bit off the floor. Lift up, and it doesn't have to be a big lift. You're going no more than, say, 6 to 8 inches. You'll release. Bring a left knee in towards your chest for a hug then. Hold that thigh in close and then keep it there while not using your hands. Trying to bring it as close as you can. Hug it in. Then place left foot down. Bring right knee in. Hug it there and then release your hands so you're maintaining that position, back still on the floor, pelvis still on the floor. You're not holding on to your right leg anymore. You'll do that hold and then release. Make your way up to do the same thing standing then. So hug left knee in. Don't lean back to get it up higher. You're maintaining that position. Release left foot. And then right leg comes up. Again, bring it up as high as you can. You're not leaning back to get it there. Hold your thigh up towards your belly and release it down. Swap to the left side again. Lift up, hug in. Keep breathing. Don't forget to do that. And release your left foot. Right foot comes up. Hold. Then release your right foot. You'll do one more on each side. Left leg comes up, hug it up. Again, you can see my back is lined up as if the wall were behind me. Hold, breathe, release. Take a moment to shake out. Right leg comes up. Again, if you gotta have a wall behind you to help you out, put a wall behind you. But it's like that is happening. Hold, breathe, release as you're ready. Also, this helps with that whole balance thing. Hey, yeah, do a little shake out, do a little wiggle. You're going to grab 2 blocks or thick books, stacks of books. Place them underneath your hands. Right foot forward, left leg back. Lower your left knee to the floor. You can always cushion it. Maybe fold your mat over. You'll tuck left toes. Make sure your shoulders aren't hunching up towards your ears. Let them slide away from your ears. So you're lifting up a bit with your chest. And then you're not pumping your legs up and down to come up to a really high lunge. You're going to maintain the position of your hips as you slowly lift your left knee up off the floor. Only go as high as you can go without moving your hips. And then lower it down. Inhale lifts your left knee. Exhale lowers it down. And again, you're only moving as high as you can go with that leg, with that knee lift. Only go as high as you can without shifting your hips. So you can see mine are really barely moving. Sometimes it helps to have my hand at the back of the pelvis to make sure. And then you'll switch sides. Right leg goes back, left leg comes forward. You'll tuck your right toes. Again, make sure you're not creeping your shoulders up towards your ears. Give your neck some space. As you inhale, you're lifting your right knee up off the floor. Exhale to lower it down. And sometimes it can be a little harder to maneuver on one side more than the other. This is the tough side for me. So you might place hand at the back of your pelvis or have a teammate give a little just pressure right at the back of the pelvis to help you out so that you maintain that position of your hips as you slowly lift and lower your knee. Almost think about pushing back through your heel rather than just a straight up lift of your knee or direct lift up. Good. Bring both knees to the floor. You can place those blocks or books off to the side. You're going to make your way to seated. Hug behind your thighs. Again, try not to hunch in. Lift up tall like you're reaching your sternum up towards the ceiling, that center of your chest. Tip back on your sits bones. Toe tips might be on the floor. You want to make sure your feet don't cramp up as you do that, so maybe you don't point too severely. You're not clenching your toes in. You can alternately lift your feet. Maybe you try to straighten your legs as you alternately lift your feet, extending them. Maybe you tip back to balance on your sits bones. You could hug behind your thighs. You're trying to wrap your inner thighs out. So I'll spin so you can see that. I'm going to grab around the inner thighs and pull them out towards the sides. And sometimes that can actually help you lift your legs a little bit higher. But you don't want to do it because your shoulders are hunching. So you might play around with that. Make sure you're still breathing. Maybe you bend your knees again, reach your fingertips forward. Maybe you alternately extend your legs. And some movement going on there. Maybe you try for both without the hands. Then release your legs down, cross one ankle in front of the other. So release, and then soles of feet together. Hands behind you to support you. You could lean back against your hands. Maybe you rock your hips a little bit. From there, you're going to take a strap or belt, make it into a big loop that you can pull over your thighs. You want your thighs set up so that the femurs are about in line with your hips. You'll get that strap or belt around your legs and lower yourself onto your back. And once you're there, you can tighten the strap again, looking for that line so that your thighs can rest against the strap so you don't have to do a ton of work to hold your legs up. You'll let yourself settle in. Your arms could be in a T shape or a cactus shape. Take a few moments to hang out, breathe, and be in this constructive rest position, which gives your psoas a little break. Take a few more breaths here, or stay as long as you want. And as you're ready, no rush, no hurry, you'll make your way over onto one side and up to a comfortable seat.